I take my setup, I got an 8-iron here. Walk me through as if I haven't done this before again. My foot goes back.
Trail foot's back.
Okay.
Yep. Stance is closed.
Okay.
And as you're doing this, you're literally feeling like the lower half of your body staying closed. It's not moving. And it's the shoulder forward, the arms forward, keeping the trail wrist bent.
Okay.
It feels like it's really all upper body and arms, and the lower's just staying there, staying very closed, not moving. This really is like a Swiss Army knife of things. You could nail a lot of things with this drill.
Yeah, hit a bunch of
depending
stuff.
on what you're really focused on.
I want to talk to you today about Live View Golf. Now, you guys hear me say all the time that you need feedback when you're practicing. You need to know if you're actually doing what you're trying to do, and the best way to give yourself feedback ultimately is video. And not only is video the best way to give yourself feedback, but being able to see yourself simultaneously as you're doing a movement is the best form of video feedback. It's the best way I've seen to make changes in your swing and be able to correlate the differences between your feels and your reels. Live View is super easy to use and set up. Simply set it up behind or in front of you. You connect it with your iPad or phone, pop that on the ground. You can actually do your practice, see yourself as you're doing it, the best way to expedite your process. I encourage you guys to check out Live View Golf. We'll put a link in the description down below with a coupon code. All right, guys, Eric here out of Bethlehem Golf Club with my good friend Steve Saracki. In today's video, we're going to talk about a right foot back drill that Steve showed me, and we use with a lot of our students, that can help cure a load of issues with your swing. So, Steve, if you could kind of take us through here and show everyone the drill that you showed me and what we do with our students. How does the drill work, and really what are the benefits of being able to do it?
Yeah, I would say, you know, from the front view, and we see this all the time, it's really in both of our games too, is we always see the golfer when they come down, typically like with juniors or, you know, mid-level handicaps, they'll start coming down and they'll have their foot and their knee extend too early. Their body will be a little bit too far forward relative to their arms by the time the shaft's parallel to the ground. So by the time the shaft's parallel to the ground, they'll look a little bit like this picture. Yes. And they'll start tilting back a little bit to lower the club. They'll start casting, and we see
feels personal, like a personal attack here, Steve.
Yeah, it's my game too, so I get it. So a lot of low point issues again. Potentially maybe swinging a little bit too far to the right because you're tilting back. And I would say really where it starts is with the foot and the knee. So I would start there. So to do this, we would actually start closing, dropping their trail foot back, closing their stance more, closing their knees and closing their hips. That would kind of start reducing some of the extension and the tilting back. So I'd say that's like step one. Yep. And then the second part of it is they would start to feel that their trail shoulder moves more forward towards the target. And then making our way down to the arms, then the right arm would start moving more forward and the left arm would start moving more forward. And you can see if I did the opposite, closing my stance, moving my shoulder more forward and my arms more forward. Now look where the shaft is when it's parallel to the ground, how my hands are much more forward compared to the first picture. And then, good.
Keep going, keep rolling.
So then from there, we would just practice punching the balls out with those feels. Trail shoulders forward towards the target. Right arm feels like it's moving more forward towards the belly button. Left arm's moving. And as we're doing this, like we've touched on in our previous videos, we're trying to keep the trail wrist still bent to get the bottom of the swing in front of the ball.
Yeah, love that. Let me hop in and see if I can do that. One of the things for you guys, and we get this a lot, is someone might say, hey, I feel like my arms are behind my body, or I feel stuck, you know? Or like, hey, my body feels like it's way out ahead of my arms. We hear that a lot. This is specifically what Steve is talking about, and this is specifically the drills and what you would do to be able to solve for that. And most everyone that comes in who says, hey, I feel like I'm way back here, you know what he means. We're saying the contact issues, right? Low point control, things like that. So if I take my setup, I got an 8-iron here. Walk me through as if I haven't done this before again. My foot goes back.
Trail foot's back. Stance is closed. And as you're doing this, you're literally feeling like the lower half of your body staying closed. It's not moving, and it's the shoulder forward, the arms forward, keeping the trail wrist bent. It feels like it's really all upper body and arms, and the lower's just staying there, staying very closed, not moving.
And this is more of a minor detail, but just in terms of like how far closed I'm
You could go more if you wanted to, but I would say that's fairly standard right there.
Pretty good, okay. Okay. So I'm feeling the shoulder work forward.
Yep.
Hips are staying closed.
Yep.
Right wrist is staying bent.
And
I did the best one I did all day.
It was nice. As you do that, I would try to literally, because we're talking about doing the drill, overdoing it, keep your foot down the whole time. Don't even feel like your right foot's moving.
Okay. And then Steve, in addition to the pieces that we're talking about solving, like especially when Steve did this picture, it's almost even hard to do from a close stance.
I know.
When Steve did this picture back here, I mean, we see this on video all day long.
All the time.
All day long. So if you have this and you feel like your arms and body aren't synced up, and you want to sync them up, because your arms and hands are back relative to where your body is, what Steve's doing is flipping that, right? You solve a problem by doing the opposite and exaggerating. So he's having us do the exact opposite so that when we transfer that into our normal swing, that's going to look...
It'll line up right how it should.
Right. Now, in addition to me having my foot back, are there any other benefits that this would help, even if a golfer doesn't maybe have those issues? Like depth on the way back, you know, things like that?
Yes. I was just about to say that. Yeah, I was just about to say that would help. And then really, I would say it's more follow through, reducing the early extension, reducing some of the thrusting of the hips. It helps keep the exit down more, coming through the ball.
So if I'm someone who would go like this?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like if we were going to really do this, we'd hammer. If you want to just pop one out there.
Yeah.
Feel down that feels coming through.
Yeah.
And those arms being that down also help pull the shoulder more forward.
It helps fix this.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So it can also help if you got that foot back, you know, more depth on the way back. Like even if just you're a normal golfer to have the right foot back.
This really is like a Swiss Army knife of things. You could nail a lot of things with this drill.
Yeah, hit a bunch of
depending
stuff.
on what you're really focused on. But
Foot's back.
For right now, it's getting the bottom forward, reducing the tilting back, coming through the hit.
Because it even feels like with a more closed stance, it's easier for me. The thing I notice when I do this is it reduces any of the curve.
Yes.
Right, for me, any of the overdrawing.
It's really how Scotty Scheffler plays the tour.
Yeah, yeah.
He slides his foot back, moves his shoulder forward.
I think he's what, the #1 ball striker in the world?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
The other thing I feel like with the foot back is it does preset, makes it easier for me to get some turn on the way back.
That's good for you in your game.
Yeah. Feels like it's easier to get the hands deeper on the way back. Like you said, the Swiss Army knife. So foot back, shoulder forward.
And your arms, remember your arms are moving in front of you too.
Oh, Steve. Best one of the day. So that one even there, as I'm feeling my shoulder forward. The foot staying down, or even like feeling like it's going to slide back a little, for me helping to reduce the.
And as you're doing that, that's promoting the shoulder to turn past the pelvis, what it feels like.
Yeah, okay.
You're slowing the hips down, and it's like slingshotting the shoulder more forward.
Swiss Army knife, slingshot. We got a lot of good stuff going on here. So foot's staying back for me. I'm feeling shoulders forward.
That was
as good
nice.
as I could hit him.
That was nice with the foot right there.
Those last two. Steve, you always straighten me out in the swing or two. You know that?
Yeah, it doesn't take too long.
Telltale sign of a good coach and some talent. So
what is it? It doesn't take too long to start up a Rolls Royce.
Yeah, there we go. I'll take that. What a compliment from Steve. This is nice. So right foot back, obviously that's going to help. Anything else with that? I think that's pretty good.
No, it covered the parts. It's really just about getting those arms, changing this picture.
Yeah.
Is really what the whole thing was about.
So as someone's doing that, to your point before, I kind of glossed over it, but they might feel like the arm is working more forward.
You see how that right arm's getting like towards your belly button, the shoulders forward.
Versus back here.
Yes. And then when you do that one more time, do it one-handed. That was pretty good to see one-handed. And you can see look how the wrist is still bent, and that's getting the bottom of the swing in the front.
And obviously, guys, like from face on, we're over-exaggerating this to fix this sort of look, right?
Yes.
Steve, appreciate you. Right foot back. Again, it's going to cure a lot of those things, but I have so many players do right foot back that have other issues too. Like we mentioned, it can help with the presetting the backswing turn, depth on the way back, swinging from inside, more power, fixing early extension, all that stuff. So any questions on this, leave a comment down below. Highly recommend you go see Steve in person. He fixed my swing in 2 swings, so we'll see what he can do for you. Or CogornoGolf.com if you can't go in person. We'd love to see you there.